Okay, with no further ado, I just did the Shivagrist lore, and I said, and as it was uploading to Drive, so I can, convert it to the YouTube, I said, I just started thinking about all the other lore, and I realized I kind of wanted to not give away what I can sell, but this is great. I just decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to do, I'm going to ramble on and on about lore. This will be the only video where I do that. Just this one time, because I kind of want to share this stuff because, yeah, like people who are watching this Indiegogo now who are with me in the beginning, well, I know people like lore, and so I'm going to share it. And I'm not going to, 2 days later, remove this video. I already went through this whole chain in my mind where I'm not going to do it because I don't let the future me strike down the current me. Even if the future me doesn't like the current me, and I am me right now, I am self-aware, but I'm also aware that he might not like what I did right now. But even the 2-day future me is not going to strike this down because I don't let him do that. Even if he doesn't like me, he doesn't deform me. Okay, that was existential. Okay, you guys don't need to understand that. Some of you will. Existential people will get that and jive with that and dig that, and some other people won't. Don't worry about it. That's just that's okay. All right, so you guys are used to comic book movies where heroes in a room and villains in the room. The room is the world, whatever, and they fight and that's it. And there's epic figures, swinging hammers and whatever. But let me tell you that this universe is deeper than that. There's more layers. You do have the epic figure coming down, but before all that happened, where the battleground is, like what we're actually fighting for, the place, the whatever world this is, there's a whole lot of army ants going to work. They're not army ants, they're actors and affiliated, entities and such, graffitiing the place top to bottom. Because you've seen mass manipulation. So here is a cathedral, and then pow, turn it into a green dragon, right? Mass manipulation. Okay, so that's a little bit run amok, and I think that's a little bit brain rot, honestly. I think okay, so what we do is suddenly the world we are going down into becomes from cosmic metropolis into Wild West or pirates or anime. Like it goes to and the whole place is anime, Wild West, or pirates, right? Because it was graffitied beforehand. That doesn't mean we're spray painting a club into a Wild West tavern, building by building, anything like that. Graffiti's invisible, and you actually go to the anchor points of the world, like for example, you go to the Eiffel Tower, or you go to the places that really mean the most in that world. Those are going to have the most gravity and the most effect. Those are the most sought after places to graffiti. So you have all these. So it's not tons of guys with hammers running around sweeping down and doing graffiti. They're waiting to come down later. It's this army and do they run into each other? Sometimes they try to stay cloak and dagger about it, but occasionally, yeah, they'll meet at the same place at the same time. That could happen, but that's not the main thing. It's not this real army clashing thing that's happening. This is a cloak and dagger, undercover, an espionage kind of situation that's going on preceding the days and that's why it's good to set up on the setup, to know that this is going to be the battlefield before your opponent knows we're even going there, so you can be graffitiing way beforehand, uncontested, etc., unmonitored. So they're not they're not on high alert, and you already got people in there, your agents in there doing stuff. So graffiti's invisible most of the time, and sometimes it's even in different levels. All graffiti's invisible, but some is even more invisible because if you want your contending faction to only realize, yeah, because they can realize, they do have ways to find your graffiti, to dig it up. Not without some difficulty, but depending how well you kind of dug it in there. So that's flexible. How hard they're going to try and how hard you tried to, but you could put two levels in. You could put one that's easily discoverable and then one that's like deeper, more powerful symbols, more investment, more cost at resources of the higher powered ones, because you're not trying to win the graffiti war in the sense that, because many times whoever wins a graffiti war, there's no war ever. Like you just win. Like when your opposing faction realizes, oh, they've graffiti, this place is already graffitied to blazes, like it's done, and it's not a graffiti that's going to work for us, like anime or whatever in particular. This is not going to work at all. And it's always going to be the researched kind flavor that does not work for their opponent, that most benefits them, least benefits, or benefits most adversely their opponent. So, all right, 6 minutes. I better cruise here. Let's keep it under 8 if we can. So, but sometimes you don't want them to know, because the reward you're going to reap is not just the place, but it's also them. Like you want there to be a war because you know you're going to win it, and that's why you have this second level of graffiti. So they don't know till they get there. They thought they were going to win the graffiti war. They realize they don't. As it starts turning on, it starts shaping, it starts morphing, and then it's too late, because armies are assembled and heroes are gathered and they're going to get rooted. And then part of the reward they reap is the actual carcasses of these. Because actors, remember, but this goes for the rest of them also, is that actors derived from XSyn. And XSyn are half arachnid. So they do devour their counterparts and basically cannibalize their power. So that is a thing, that is a dynamic that works in this universe. There's lots of reasons, though, that as far as the reasons behind going to war, there's lots. Yes, you want the battlefield. Yes, maybe you want the carcasses, but maybe you just want to do a show of force, because the truth is, like, doesn't Sun Tzu say, if you're weak, feign strength, and if you're strong, don't let anyone know. Feign weakness. So it could be just a faction doing a show of power, just to kind of like, yes, we're weak right now. We don't have everything together, but nobody knows that, and we're going to pretend that we're strong to buy us the time in order to actually get everything together. So, in 3 months from now, or 6 months, or years, or whatnot, we'll actually be as strong as we're pretending to be right now. We'll actually be ready, because we're not ready now. So there's all kinds of depth that goes into this, and this is much different than the universes you've seen, where almost all the differences we've seen in the comic movies and such, is it like it could have been talked out. Like, doesn't one of the super powerful villains in whatever one of these universes just basically want population control, like just to slow down the teeming population? Like, can't things just be reached without obliterating tons of the universe and our heroes? Like, why does someone always need to die in these things? It seems these are just things that can talk out. So that's kind of brain rot. But this universe is for real. There's I've had 20 years, and a lot of it's gone into, I've filled up multiple documents on my computer and on my iPad of storylines. And I only write down the ones that wow me. There's no filler ones written down there. And I'm critical. So, okay, guys, 9 minutes, sorry. Okay, let's shut it off before 10. But I hope this is like so much more thought, strategy, and which creates realism. Okay.